Fermented foods have been around for centuries, right? Americans, though, we wonder, should we be eating them? How much and what? Today I have a special guest who's going to dive into the science of fermented foods. We're going to talk about which foods have fermentation and also who should not be eating them. Welcome to Sarah RD TV. So I'm super honored to have some recent interns with the University of South Florida's new dietetic internship program. My first intern here is Stacy, and Stacy has really taken it upon herself to look at the research with fermented foods, and I'm super happy to have you here. I have a few questions too, because we know about probiotics. We know that we want to be consuming them more for our digestion, but what are reasons that people are eating fermented foods?
Well, fermented foods are really high in vitamins and minerals, and they even contain antioxidants. Like you said, the probiotics, and also some different types of fermented foods actually have protein also.
That's interesting, because we only think about the tea. I know we're going to look at some products in a little bit about the Kombucha tea, yes. Miso, those types of things. So those are good reasons, right? Digestion, antioxidants. We already know antioxidants are awesome for possibly preventing heart disease, maybe reducing the risk of cancer. So like big picture stuff. Where, as usual, we draw the line is how often should we be consuming fermented foods?
Well, it's important to remember moderation. So we don't want to be having too much of any type of food, even though the fermented foods may have some health benefits when you're having it maybe a couple times a week. But if you're having it too often, we don't really know. We need more research on what the high toxicity limits are. We don't really know how much is safe to have. So if we have it in moderation, every once in a while, it's a safer choice to do it that way.
Which is no surprise, just like any other food, right?
Exactly.
All foods can fit. How much should we be consuming?
Yes.
Okay, so next we're going to go in the kitchen. We're going to look at some different products, the pros and cons. So as we just learned, there are reasons that we should be eating fermented foods and foods with probiotics. A lot of fancy words here. And there's so many new products, of course. So I have to do a plug for most of my clients who are pregnant, either immune compromised because they had surgery or going through some kind of medical treatment, and young children. There are different products for every group. Let's start with the teas. I have kombucha tea and this lovely apple cider vinegar tonic. These are not pasteurized, okay? And I just have to say it out loud because I don't know if anyone is saying it. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, please consult your healthcare professional before consuming. It's right on the bottle. These are not pasteurized. We know that pasteurized, here's where it gets a little bit gray. Pasteurized means that the bacteria is killed and it's safe for us to consume as Americans. But people who are pregnant, young, going through some kind of medical treatment, they really need to get the pasteurized foods. So that's why I'm going to plug more of the yogurt drinks or kefir. Actually, my intern and I looked up the pronunciation, K-E-F-I-R, kefir or kefir, if you will. I like to say kefir now. Kefir is great because it's already pasteurized, it has protein, it has calcium, and it has the probiotics. Through research, which is very exciting, when I had my first child 15 years ago, probiotics were not even discussed, only DHA and ALA. Now we know that probiotics are very important. When the mother consumes them during pregnancy, it benefits the child's gut bacteria, which is awesome. So whatever we can do that tastes good and is good for our unborn children is awesome. So totally recommending kefir or yogurts with the probiotics added. And then there's the third group, which are foods that we've been consuming for thousands of years. Cue my German heritage. Sauerkraut is a huge background of mine. I love it. Also, kimchi. There's a lot of fermented, pickled vegetables, if you will, that already are high in probiotics and have that fermentation going on. What's nice is that anyone can consume these. If you haven't tried it, I totally suggest you do. Warm it up and serve it with pork or chicken, potatoes, and also there are products mostly from the eastern side of the world. We have miso, soy sauce, again the kimchi. Those are foods that we can definitely enjoy on a lot of our meals, and I encourage you to try it. So here, those are the three groups. I know that some people are trying or considering making those at home, which is a totally separate topic. Just talking about products that are already on the market, I definitely recommend, especially for someone who's pregnant, breastfeeding, or immune compromised, going through medical treatment, bring this up with their registered dietitian and physician so you can get a plan that works for you, because it's all about your health and what makes you feel good. Thanks. When we talk about kefir,
Yes.
we're super excited about the pronunciation, by the way, because I've said kefir, right?
Yes.
And when we really looked it up, it's kefir, like tomato. So if you see me in person, I'm probably going to be saying kefir, and you'll be like, wow, that's fancy. So, okay, but